All right, so in an earlier video, I skimmed past this const, and I said we're not going to look at it yet. I guess this is as good a time as any to start talking about it, because we're going to talk about static variables in this lesson. But anyway, there are no static variables in private critter. But what the const is used for is basically it says this function is not going to modify any of our the fields that belong to this object. So, and the reason why you want to do stuff like that, like why you want to restrict yourself that way, is basically to protect yourself from yourself, right? So you don't code anything in an accessor. You don't want to make any changes to data. So you're saying, because you're just returning this little bit of data. So basically, it's set up so that you don't change any of your object's data unless you specifically declare it to be mutable. There's a possibility to do that. And another thing that you can change in these const things is a static variable. So let me show you a static variable for a second. So let's say you have a game where you are creating lots and lots of critters, and you want to keep track of how many critters you have all together at any one time in the game. So you can store, what you can do is, instead of having a global variable, or instead of trying to maintain the total number of critters in every single critter, you can have one variable that belongs to the whole class of critters. So instead of belonging to each critter object, STotal, because it's declared static here, it only is it only belongs to the critter class. So let's see how that works. So we declare it with this special keyword static, okay? And notice we also have a member function here that is declared static, and with this keyword static int, okay? So int is the return type, just like int is the value type of this variable. Static, and static is an extra keyword to say it belongs to the class. So getTotal has a return type of int, but it's static, meaning it belongs to the whole class. So let's see how that's different here. So we have a well, notice what happens here. In our constructor, we increment STotal. We start STotal off at 0, okay? And see, this is notice that this assignment here is like outside of any method or anything, okay? So this is setting our static value to 0. And then every time we run the constructor, we increment STotal. Okay, so every time we create a new critter object, we add 1 to the total. And then we have this static member function. Remember, we said getTotal was static. We declared it that way with the function prototype. And we can return that value like that. So let's see how that gets called here in main. So in main, see, we create these 3 critters, and then we say the total number of critters is, and look at how we call this. We don't say crit1 dot get total. We say critter, we use the class name, : get total. Okay, so that's the way we call a static function. So let's run this. Yes. Oh, I forgot to stick in the system pause here. System pause. Alright. We created 3 critters, so I should say. Okay, we start out with a total number of 3, then of 0, I'm sorry, and then 3 critters are born, Let me say the total is 3. Okay. So, oh yeah. Because see here we're saying S total. And notice we can also access the static variable directly. S total. Okay. So that's how static variables work.